I'm here at Pack Expo East at the Industry Speak Stage, and I'm here with Dan Felton, CEO of Flexible Packaging Association. And you just gave a great presentation about what you guys do, and you talked a lot about EPR. So when talking about EPR in statewide laws, like what do you see as the biggest challenge to flexible packaging in that space?
Yeah, thanks, Liz. That's a great question. And for us, I think it's a maturity issue. So if you think about many of the products or packaging that's included in these emerging EPR laws, like glass, cans, bottles, boxes, they have most of them have mature markets, infrastructure in place. Whereas we're relatively new on the market, if you think of it. I mean, it's not 10 years, it's 20 years, but the infrastructure set up to recover our products at the end of life is just simply not as mature. Can they be recycled? Absolutely. Do consumers know how to recycle it? Not necessarily. So
Sure.
when you look at EPR from that perspective, I think that's the biggest challenge we have, is making sure that policymakers and consumers understand what flexible packaging is, and that they understand that there are paths forward, which may look different than what we've seen for some of those other packaging materials and formats that are also included in the programs, but have a more mature path forward.
Yeah, okay, so I feel like it's really a lot about education, right? Some knowledge, some collaboration.
Yeah, a lot of education, but also a lot of, we need more data, and we're working on that to be able to show proof of concept. That's going to take some time, but confident that we have a place in the market and that we can be circular, but we can't be treated the same as every other form of packaging.
Sure. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Liz.